Maria, a specter in white, is said to haunt the Solomon Hochoy Highway in the proximity of Trinidad's Claxton Bay flyover. Her tale is one of forbidden love and tragedy. Yet, who was this Maria? What was her tragic fate? And why does her spirit linger? Her story, interwoven with the Solomon Hochoy Highway's history, echoes a past where progress and folklore collide. Prior to its construction, the land was a pastoral expanse where sugarcane fields swayed and whispered secrets to the wind. In proximity lay the Forest Park estate, presided over by a Spanish overseer known colloquially as Mr. Farmer. Within this verdant realm, a young maiden by the name of Maria dwelled, her existence a mosaic of radiant days and veiled verities. At the tender age of 15, Maria, the progeny of the austere overseer, was the embodiment of youthful efflorescence. Her tresses poured forth like a cascade of obsidian silk, and her gaze as profound as the fathomless Caribbean. Maria's affections were tenderly placed upon Arjun, an East Indian indentured laborer. His rugged hands held hers with a surprising softness, a contrast that spoke volumes of their love, pure, strong, and defying convention. Arjun, a young man in his 20s, had eyes that shone like polished mahogany, and his smile was a guiding light, capable of cutting through the darkest night. He was her chosen partner, her trusted confidant, and her promised one. Their love, a secret symphony, played its notes beneath the moon's approving gaze. They dreamt of a life together, away from the estate's watchful eyes, away from the chains of societal decree. But as fate would have it, their whispered vows were carried on the wind to Mr. Farmer, who, with a heart hardened by tradition, vowed to sever the bond that tethered his daughter to a future he could not sanction. On that faithful night he confronted Maria, his ire surged, vowing to obliterate Maria's paramour. Beset with dread for her lover's safety, Maria took flight into the shroud of night. Her steps, laden with trepidation and ardor, hastened her toward Arjun's dwelling. Alas, fate's cruel hand interposed a serpent in her path. The lethal maw of a bushmaster, a nocturnal plunderer, claimed her vitality. She struggled and tumbled down the hillock, her life ebbing away at the very locus where the highway would later unfurl. Mr. Farmer, upon the grim discovery of his daughter's inert silhouette, was engulfed by an abyss of sorrow. Driven to immortalize Maria's memory and seek penance for his role in her tragic end, he erected a monument upon the estate's loftiest pinnacle. In that place, he would kneel before the statue of the Virgin Mary, pleading for divine forgiveness. As the annals of time turned and the estate exchanged custodians, the neighboring hamlets sustained the remembrance of Maria. They would pilgrimage to the statue, tendering prayers and seeking consolation at the base of the silent guardian that stood vigil over the lands. A multitude harbored the belief that the statue concealed mysterious powers to fulfill their desires. Yet, in the year 1972, calamity struck anew. A woman, her psyche a maelstrom of disenchantment, drew near the statue. For years she had beseeched the effigy, yet her prayers were met with silence. Enraged by the mute testimony of the stone visage to her impassioned pleas, she profaned the monument, severing its head with an act of frenzied defiance. It is whispered that the sacrilege wrought upon the statue gave rise to Maria's specter, a wraith wrought from the depths of inequity and anguish. From that moment forth, travelers near the highway began to report sightings of a spectral woman clad in white. Over time, the stretch of road where these encounters occurred became notorious for a series of tragic mishaps. Yet, amidst these calamities, a handful of survivors recounted a chillingly similar vision: a phantasmal figure in white, a young woman hobbling slowly across the tarmac. As the years advanced and the myth of Maria's presence took root in the public consciousness, a cadre of vandals, shrouded in anonymity, resolved to eradicate what remained of the statue in the dawn of the 2000s. Under the cloak of night, as they set about their profane task, an ominous sensation enveloped them. The air grew frigid, a disquieting stillness pervaded, and the darkness seemed to echo with unearthly wails. Overcome by a profound sense of dread, the vandals abandoned their mission, fleeing into the night, never to return to their unhallowed endeavor. The legend of Maria, it seems, would not be so easily extinguished. As the sun dips below the horizon and the stars begin their nightly vigil, the tale of Maria reaches its twilight. The Solomon Hochoy Highway, a ribbon of modernity cutting through Trinidad's heart, carries more than just vehicles. It bears the weight of a story that has transcended time. The legend of Maria's ghost, like all folklore, is a mirror reflecting our own fears, hopes, and the timeless quest for connection. It reminds us that our stories do not end with us. They linger on, whispered in the wind, shared in hushed tones, and sometimes seen in the fleeting glimpse of a figure in white along a lonely highway.